Good morning. Okay, this is going to be a very, very short dream journal because I don't remember my dreams. And so this is also going to combine yesterday's entry and today's, because same reason I don't remember my dreams this morning, I just straight up didn't make an entry yesterday, even though I did take note of my dreams and I did have dreams. My morning routine was just different than what it's been for the last little while, so I messed it up and I didn't get the recording up. So yeah. Yesterday's dream, I had a dream that I was at my childhood home and the entire neighborhood was completely empty. There wasn't a soul in sight. There weren't even any birds chirping. It was very, very still and quiet and lifeless. And then I was at it inside my parents' house. Nobody was there. I was just kind of like milling about, looking around, and then I went and stood by the back door and was just kind of looking outside, and I looked to my side and I saw my father sitting outside of the door, just shivering and shaking and staring off into the distance. And it became obvious to me that, oh, he came home and was locked out, and now he's been waiting outside for someone to let him back in for hours. So I go out there and I'm like, Dad, and he's just glassy eyes, shivering, just staring, and his fingers have like turned black, and so then I think I have to get him inside, but there's no way that I'll be able to carry him. And then I thought, well, screw it, I'm going to carry him even though I can't. And so I get way down in this deep, like weightlifting power squat, and I wrap my arms around him, and because he's like huddled up like this, so I just put my arms around him, lift him up, and then take him back in the house where the air is very warm. And that was that dream. Yeah, and then after that dream, I had another dream about my mother and I, and we were like the Gilmore Girls or something, and then we broke into this guy's basement to steal his really, really crappy, really old TV. I don't know. And then he came out and confronted us, and I had to convince him not to shoot us. Yeah. And then there was another dream from yesterday, but I can't remember it. And those were all of yesterday's dreams. And now this morning, same thing. Like, for the last couple of months, I've been falling asleep listening to a very specific soundtrack with ambient music that has helped me lucid dream and just dream in general. And I've got my alarm set. I usually wake up around 3 a.m. and then wake up around 5 a.m. to do dream notes and do the wake into dreaming technique. But since my lover is home now and we haven't been together for a little while, my sleep pattern was a little bit different, and I felt disruptive doing this in the wee hours of the morning, and I didn't want to cause a disturbance. So I'm gonna have to find some kind of compromise, because I don't want to stop doing this. And I see now that changing all the stuff that I did, even slightly, is really affecting how I remember my dreams and the lucidity. So I've got to go back to doing what I was doing so I can get more dream action. So hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit more normal. We'll figure it out. And then, so as far as dreams this morning, I just remember, I'm remembering a little bit more. I was in this really futuristic city, and it wasn't, sometimes I dream of this futuristic city, but this one was like way, way far into the future. Like when we were like our DNA was different than it is now. It was so far into the future that we, like, I don't know, maybe we had an extra thumb or something. It was that far. I was being given a tour by my friend Gwen. She was like in charge of some science department of experimental living quarters or some fancy job title, and we were like floating around in this glass elevator pod, and she was showing me around the city, and she said, "Oh, and this might be a really good fit for you. This is our outdoor experimental living something." She called it something, not a pod, but she called this neighborhood something. And what it was, in this city, there was this big glass wall around it, like sectioning off and separating this particular neighborhood from other neighborhoods. And it had this like climate control, like weather control thing around it. And she floated above it and took me around to where their gym was. Did you ever have an ant farm as a kid? It's like these two little pieces of plexiglass in a frame with sand in it and ants, and they, it's shaped like that. That's what the gym was shaped like. It was just all glass, and they had these really weird treadmills that were set up almost like they were overlapping each other, and so the view was really strange, and had them doing their little exercises, and then there was like this weird feeding station. It was all very mechanized and very futuristic. Very sci-fi. It was neat. And then after that, I had a dream that I was, I think, driving away from that city or driving around in it somehow with my lover. And this guy driving a forklift tried to run us over, and then he cut us off and was like, ha 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 ha. And I was like, damn it, being frustrated in my dreams is my very least favorite feeling. It's way worse than being scared for me. And so I got all frustrated, and I was like, we can't let him get away with this. And so we drove after him, and I think that I became somewhat lucid because I was really concentrating on, like, all right, I can't let this guy go, because as soon as I take my mind off of it, I knew that I would forget, or that like the scene would move on. So I had some level of lucidity, and I said, oh, he's gone off of like, I rattled off the street number because I was paying attention to the signs. He tried to lose us, so I said, oh, we gotta go around this street. So we went and tried to find him, and then we found his forklift, and someone else was driving it. And then the last dream I remember, this happened like right before I woke up. I was eating cherry pie, or I was about to. This is the second or third dream I've had about pies, about cherry pies specifically. I don't ever think about cherry pies because I don't even like cherry pies. I don't like warm cherries. They have a weird texture. So, what does that mean? If you have any dream interpretations for cherry pies, I mean, tell me. Other than that, I would love to hear your dreams and your notes. So if you could leave them in the comments below. One, it helps the algorithm, and it helps my dream journals show up for more people. And I'm obsessed with my dreams, and I'm obsessed with your dreams, and I really want to know. So let's make a dream community, a dream journaling community here with each other. All right, looking forward to reading your dreams.